Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has labeled the criminal activity in Spanish Town, St. Catherine as a national emergency. At the same time, he strongly responded to criticisms of the government's legislative proposals to deter crime and violence. The Prime Minister was speaking at Wednesday's meeting of the National Disaster Risk Management Council. Andrea Chisholm has the details.
The crime and chaos in Spanish Town, St. Catherine has the attention of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who grew up in the area.
It is not a place that we want to in any way get out of control. It has the potential, if it is not dealt with strongly and firmly and immediately, to claim many more lives. The level of organized criminal activity there is a national emergency.
He said citizens are living in fear. Some have even blocked roads in communities to prevent drive-by shootings.
A man coming home in the night from his work can't get in. He had to come out of his vehicle to try and move the roadblock and was pounced upon. Luckily, they identified him as one of their own, living in the community, and allowed him. But can you imagine if it were a mistake?
And so the Prime Minister says government has to act swiftly to protect law-abiding citizens.
Citizens are at that point where they feel that they have to take their own security into their own hands. When there are viable legal changes that can be made. But in our liberal democracy, there are certain changes that do require the cooperation of the parliamentary opposition. And even if not required, it does require the support of civil society. I have expressed my views on a number of these matters, and I have been roundly chastised by those whose thinking have got us here in the first place. Let me say that their thinking will not get us out of these problems. It is time that we change and change our laws to match our problems.
The Prime Minister did not single out a specific legislation, but stakeholders have rejected a proposal under the new Bail Act to deny bail to those facing murder and gun charges. Rejection as well to a proposal in the new Firearms Act for a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison if found with an illegal weapon. Stakeholders argue that in both instances, the courts should make that decision. The JLP administration has also been criticized for the extended use of states of emergency, which require support from the parliamentary opposition.
Every move we make, there is some legal argument or some political argument being made about the preservation of rights. The rights of who? It is never a debate about the rights of the victims. We cannot allow an emergency or a disaster to change the liberal nature of our democracy. There's no greater Democrat than myself. But disorder will lead to anarchy.
Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.